And welcome back to the Watch the Walk-Ons podcast. Got a good one today. Our man Louie Stec is in the house. I am going to sell you something right off the bat. Walk-On store up in the corner. Look at that.
Yeah. That's
Go
what I'm
get
talking
yourself some
about.
stuff. There's Grant.
Whoa.
It's going to be real casual tonight. I just started, Grant.
Early start? What are we doing here?
Louie's been in here for – this man was ready. He's been in here for 4 or 5 minutes already. I was like, I don't want to waste his time. You're good. You're good.
You're all good.
Wow. All right, Louie, nice to meet you, though, man. My name's Grant. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Usually we do this before the recording, but I was not. I guess we're doing things differently today.
Hey, he was 8 minutes early, 7 minutes early.
Yeah, you're all good. If you're not early, you're late. You know what I mean?
I am early, which is crazy.
Grant feels disrespected,
but I was late. So.
Wearing the BMW hat. Still waiting on the sponsorship. Grant, need you to hook us up if you can get us the.
We'll see
if you can get us that connection. Colorado on the side there. Saw that did the Stars come back on the Avalanche last night?
Dude, I was there.
You went again?
No, that's the only one I've been to so far. I didn't go Saturday. I went yesterday. Stars Avalanche, and I went. Tickets dropped like $300 during the day. I checked at lunch. I was like, it's way too expensive. And then my buddy sent me a DM. He was like, you can get in the building for $30.
It looked so lit last night.
It was crazy at times, and it was. I mean, if you were rooting for the Stars, it was probably a different experience. But I was like, I was sitting there. The game lasted till like 12:45 with overtime. Went crazy late, and just they scored. It's just people celebrating, dancing in my face. There were streamers like confetti just falling in my face. So I was just sitting there all sad, and it was like like Forrest Gump, where like Lieutenant Dan's just sitting there, and like the confetti's just falling in his face. It's just moping around. That's what I felt like.
I'm sorry about that. Well,
this is about Louie, not about me.
Yeah. I just wanted to welcome you in, give you your time. Everybody loves Grant around here. Grant's our producer. He's really becoming the second host, Louie. As you know, we'll get to it. Louie has his own podcast, and consistency in the podcasting game can be difficult at times. It's hard to show up week after week after week. Grant is reliable, if anything. He is just he's stone cold. He does his own podcast as well. So anyway, Louie Stec's in the building. Maybe a name that many of you listening who clicked on this podcast, like, who the fuck is Louie Stec? Who's this guy?
For sure.
And that is the reaction or first thought that I had when I first saw your name pop up on, I believe it was just a clip on Instagram of one of your shows that you've done or something. And then I kind of thought back and I was like, Louie Stec, that does ring a bell. I feel like I saw that name in a jersey. He was out there. I think he's one of the brethren.
Oh yeah.
And I did a little researching and I'm like, okay, yeah. I texted my brother. I'm like, what about this Louie guy? Like, who's this Louie kid? He's putting out podcasts. And so here you are. I'm really intrigued at what you're doing now, but I do want to go back and give you the full treatment here of telling your story, how you got to Iowa City, maybe even further back than that, you growing up, your entry into sports. So tell me about where are you from?
I'm from Chicago, from Chicagoland area.
Are you actually from Chicago, or you're from Homer Glen like Kevin Ward?
I'm 20 minutes outside the city. So
okay.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not one of those. I've met those people that are like, yeah, I'm from Chicago, and they're from like Bloomington, Indiana. Like they're so full of shit. But yeah, I've met those people. And but no, yeah, I grew up playing football. Started when I was like in the second grade when I started playing football.
Okay.
I was a chunky boy. 5th grade, I was like 200 pounds. I was like so overweight, but I was a heavy boy. Yeah, dude, it was tough. But yeah, so they put me on the offensive line. They stacked me there. I was playing D tackle.
Fucking chance they're giving this kid the ball. Probably rules against.
They did one.
I was gonna say, what? Do you guys got the patches in Illinois? Did you guys have those growing up?
No, we didn't. So they gave me the ball once, and I fumbled the fucking ball. Yeah, so it was tough. I blew my one chance.
In Iowa, Grant, at least in Marshalltown, They put the red tape on your helmet. I remember specifically 3rd grade, cutoff to run the ball was like 120 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, that's what like Cara says at the patches were like if you had a certain number, it was like it's like you were a general, but like if you had a certain number of patches on your jersey, it meant no go. You can't give him the ball. It's not allowed.
This guy does not have any war awards that he won. He's just too fat to carry the ball because no one can tackle him. Yeah. So okay, cool. 2nd grade. I feel like that's. I actually had this conversation with my father-in-law the other day about how a lot of the great athletes out there are just naturally good at the sport, and a lot of my teammates at Iowa like would have this story where they started playing football in like 7th grade or like freshman year. So I think I started in 1st grade. 1st, 2nd was flag, and then 3rd grade was tackle. So you're the first person in a while that I've heard started in 2nd grade. You were made for it.
I guess so. But yeah, so I started in the 2nd grade and then just kept going through it. And then, and then basically, so I was back here in Chicago. I'm obviously from the burbs. So I went to my high school, Nazareth Academy. It's a good football school in Illinois. It's one of the best. I've been around.
Let me guess, one of these fucking private schools, one of these Catholic schools.
For sure.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Pope, RIP. Recording this.
It's called winning. But yeah, I was one of those private school boys. But yeah, I did. I got some, beat some great guys, got to play on some great teams. I was a defensive lineman, obviously, offensive lineman. Won some state championships there. Got to play with some great teammates like J.J. McCarthy was my quarterback in high school.
Decent.
So yeah, guys like that. And then got to play against like Tyler Newbin, who played in Minnesota, and now he's playing for the Giants. So playing against a lot of great players. But like, so basically my story, how I got to Iowa, like you said, I'm not well known. I whatever. But basically, how it went for me, how I got recruited to Iowa, is I was a smaller kid, obviously, very undersized. People say I'm 5'11". God damn it, I'm 6 foot. I tell people all the time I'm 6 foot.
Roster said 6 foot 246 last updated.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they're always like, well, if you say, they say that whatever your height is, they say subtracted by 2, and that's your actual height. That's what all the coaches say.
That was correct. That was correct for me when I was there.
What'd you list your height as?
Well, for some reason they listed it as 6 foot 220 on the roster.
Okay.
I was never 6 foot, and I was at one time 220, but never really played at 220. So yeah, so you're a legit 6 foot.
Yeah. I'm like,
good for you.
Like, yeah, well, the coaches, when you go through those camps and they check your height, they always like smush your head down to like knock down the inches. So they're like, yeah, you're 5'10". And it's like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? But no, but yeah. So basically I was going through camps. I was undersized. I was not very heavily recruited. Yeah. And I just, I wasn't getting recruited at all. So my dad's like, all right, well, we're going to basically we got to get you recruited somewhere. We got to get you to a school. So essentially he was like, all right, you're not going to win in these like camp, because a lot of those camps are like combines where they want you to run your 40-yard dash. They want you to jump and all that shit. And I was like, he's like, you're not meant for that. You don't have the height or the weight.
It ain't you, buddy.
No.
You're not that guy, pal.
Right. So he's like, we got to sign you up in like hitting camps where you got to be padded up, helmets, shoulder pads, and we just got to go do board drills and do like one-on-one pass rush. Like that's where you'll make your mark. So he signed me up for like 15 camps in the summertime. Yeah, it was brutal. It was a lot. He's a psycho. But he's like, we're going to sign you up for 15 camps. We got to get you recruited. He's like, so we got to go everywhere. So we went to South Dakota State. We went to North Dakota State, South Dakota, North Dakota. We went to Minnesota. We went to a Northwestern camp, Indiana. And then we went to Iowa, and that was a full hitting camp. That was one day.
Yeah.
And I had a really good camp. I had a really good day. We went through the board drills, and basically just getting introduced to Iowa as well was really, really cool. but yeah, that camp was super sick, and that was when Coach Morgan was still there as the defensive line coach.
Yep.
He's the man, and yeah, it was really really cool. And I knew they took it really seriously as well too, because the first thing they did was when we got into this camp, they basically Coach Morgan said, "All right, we're going to separate the D line from Group A and Group B," and then I was in Group A, and he was like, "Okay, everybody in Group A, follow me," and then he just kind of like just sat us. We took a knee, and he's like, "Listen, we watched all your guys' tape. You guys are the best players that we have in this group. Group B is just going to go do their own thing, you know? And then
Really?
you guys, yeah."
Wow.
He's like, yeah. And he's like, Group A, you guys are going to go against our top recruits, our like ones. You guys are going to get to show what you can do. So I'm like, oh, fuck, that's cool. I was like, they took the time out of their day to watch, or he took the time out of his day to watch the film from these high school athletes to, you know, give us a shot to see what we can do. And yeah, so first thing we did was we went on the board drill, and I went against, I don't know who it was, but he was being recruited to Iowa. He had a scholarship. I don't think he ended up going to Iowa, but did really well. I flat backed him, did good on the board drill. I'm a shorter guy, obviously, so I have leverage. So I just utilized that, and then just doing well on the boards. And then, you know, I was doing well. And then Coach Morgan pulled me aside. He's like, "Hey man, what do you got going on? Who's recruiting you right now?" I'm like, "I got nobody. I don't know where to go."
I love the question. The question's always, "Hey, who's recruiting you?"
Yeah. So
they immediately want to know who they're in competition with. It sets up their entire strategy.
for sure. And I should have just lied. I should.
You should, dude. You should have told him. I can't even. I couldn't even tell you the list of names. I forgot all the offers.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. I had none at that point. But yeah. So he pulls me aside. He's like, "What you got going? You know, who's recruiting you?" I'm like, "Nobody. Just, you know, I'm hitting up camps and trying to get recruited. Obviously, I'm undersized." And he's like, "Yeah, you are." And he's like, "Just keep doing your thing." So then I just kept doing the board drills. I beat the shit out of two more guys. And then this was also when Polisek was there at the time, coaching the O-line. And he was obviously screaming. He's a maniac.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, he said something cool to me after I flat backed another one of the kids I was going against. He was like, "I don't know who you are and what your name is, but I want your name on my desk today." And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." So I'm like, "Let's go." And then
You love to hear that.
yeah, I'm like, I'm fired up. So then we go through board drills. That's over. Did good on that, and then I get the pass rush. I'm doing well there. I was a 3 technique, so I was just, you know, just pass rushing and beating some guys, and then I had a good camp, man. I got recognized, and you know, there was also familiarity there, because my dad and I, we talked to Coach Ferentz, KF. We all call him KF after the camp, and he was actually I don't. So the head coach, so Joe Moore, if you're familiar. So Joe Moore, he was KF was a GA at Notre Dame, I believe, when Joe Moore was coaching Notre Dame, I believe, or maybe it was at Pitt. I don't remember.
I want to say it was Pitt.
Okay, it was probably Pitt. But my dad played football in Notre Dame, and his coach was Joe Moore. My dad was an offensive lineman. Yeah.
So your dad and KF had like a 90-minute conversation.
Oh yeah.
And you're sitting there like, "Guys, is this about me or what?"
Yeah. Let's discuss my future here, fellas. Yeah. Let's get out of there.
Can I go here, or like, are you guys gonna keep talking about 1981?
Right. Exactly. But yeah, so they were shooting the shit about Joe Moore. They were talking about that, and then basically I had a conversation with Coach Morgan after the camp, and he was like, "Listen, man, we really like you," but he's like, "Look, man, this is my last year. I couldn't even recruit you if I wanted to." He's like, I couldn't do it. And he's like, "Also, you're short as shit." So I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good point." So he's like, "Look, the best we could do is prefer walk on, and then, you know, maybe we'll get you in, and then we could go from there." So that was kind of like the first introduction to like Reese Morgan and all those coaches. And then, yeah. And then how did I get to, or commit to Iowa? Basically, who was it? Oh, Brian Ferentz came into my high school. I was taking a test one day, so I didn't get to meet with him. I had a final. It's kind of funny. So my dad and my head coach from my high school met with Brian Ferentz. He came in, they sat down, they did a meeting. I couldn't meet with him. I had a test. And basically my dad sent me a text message in the middle of it. He's like, "Talking with Brian Ferentz now. Just we're shooting the shit. And then I get a text by the end of that class after the final. He's like, "You're going to Iowa." Just no decision for me. I was like, all right, fine. But yeah, so he was like, and then I didn't get the chance to talk to Brian, but then I talked to my dad, I talked to my coach, we discussed what they talked about, and I was like, okay, that's my best bet. It's my best shot to go play Big Ten football. So I was like, screw it, I'll go. So yeah.
Wow.
That's what. Okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
There's a lot there that I want to pick apart.
Yeah, go ahead.
You are what I call one of the you're like a golden goose, Louie. And you know this because you're 50 episodes into your podcast, so you know how to answer a question.
Yes.
And it's not a good or a bad thing, but for me it is.
Sounds like you actually just dissed some of our previous guests.
Well, I just want to go back. I just want to go back 2 episodes. Pull and answers.
You're just going to name names with them.
Yeah,
fine.
well, I said it in the intro of the podcast. It's like pulling answers out of Connor Colby is like it's like dental work, dude. It's like
pulling teeth, man.
This guy wants to play football. He just wants to hit somebody. Doesn't give a fuck what the question is that you're asking him. Doesn't care. Louie, I asked one question. We're 17 minutes into the podcast, so this is good. So there's a lot here that I want to take apart. First of all, Coach Morgan told you it was his last year.
Yeah, he was like, "This is it, man." He's like, "I can't give out scholarships because I'm not going to be coaching next year." So he's like, "I'm done." So yeah.
Wow. Man, so upfront. Like usually coaches aren't that upfront. I feel like even the good ones, like even guys at Iowa, they like try to keep stuff close to the chest. I know Reese wasn't like, he's not KF, right? Like KF is never going to go to a recruit's house right now, even if next year is his last year, and be like, "Hey, I'm done next year,"
Right.
But it's just funny to hear that. It's also funny to hear how open they were at the beginning of that camp where they split you guys into 2 groups.
Yeah.
And I never got to experience that because as a long snapper, there wasn't enough guys at the camp to and they also weren't watching tape of the long snappers if they had tape at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And half of, at the special teams camp, you might get 25 or 30 guys to come in. Half of them aren't even yet to be recruited. They're like freshmen and sophomores that are trying to learn. They're just like, hey,
yeah,
it's an instructional camp. The other 15 think they're going to play college football as a junior and senior. And then there's 5 that might be worth looking at all. So there was no groups. So it's funny that they went through and watched the tape of all of you guys. It doesn't surprise me. Those camps are really serious. Like the way you described it, they do take those seriously. I'm pretty sure that several of my teammates and guys I lived with in college actually were on the radar. People had seen tape, and then they came to camp in the summer. I know Ike Butker was one for sure. He was like a quarterback athlete listed position, and he came to camp and was just killing kids. Basically at everything. I think they put him at 3 different positions. He played quarterback. He went and caught passes as a tight end. And then I think he took some sets too. And he's just athletes are athletes. So, that had to feel good when they put you on the good side. You're like, oh
yeah. I was like, oh, I don't suck.
Yeah.
I was
I didn't waste my time coming here today.
Yeah.
Your dad committed for you.
Basically. Yeah.
And earlier in the conversation, you said he signed you up for 15 camps. We have to get recruited. He's a psychopath. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah. Well, he's just like, listen, dude, he knows the game because he went through college football himself. So he
played for Notre Dame, offensive lineman.
So he started out as a defensive lineman. He got there recruited as a D tackle, and then they're like, all right, we're going to beef you up. We're going to make you a center. So then they put him on the offensive line. That's when Joe Moore became his coach. So
nice. Yeah. And did he start? And
he was a backup. I mean, he didn't get. He wasn't a starter. He played under. It's actually funny. So he played under Lou Holtz as well. So Lou Holtz was his head coach.
Legends.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know. There was some tension back then with Chicago boys and Lou Holtz. I guess Lou Holtz wasn't a big fan of Chicago boys, so I don't know. So there was some tension there, but I don't know. It's just. But it's also he's playing going behind some guys that I think the guy that was playing in front of him at center is now he was a Hall of Famer that played for 12 years, and I mean a D tackle too. I think it was God who played Notre Dame. He's a D tackle. Jerome Bettis. I might have that wrong.
No.
I don't know. Somebody, I have no clue, but it's an NFL Hall of Famer.
You're about to. I could be wrong on my history, but you're about to get absolutely shredded for that Jerome Bettis comment.
I know. I
saw. And you're young too, so I'll let it slide. Jerome Bettis played running back.
Yeah, I'm so dumb.
For the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was built like a defensive tackle, so I'm not going to put it out of the question that he played D tackle, but I have no idea where he played for college or what positions. I trust you though.
He went to Notre Dame though.
Did he go to Notre Dame? Yeah, that's
okay. So you're not going to get shredded too bad. Okay,
that's where I had to confuse. My bad.
He could have played D line. I don't know. All I know is he played running back.
Maybe when he was in high school, he played D tackle.
Nah, he had the red line on his helmet too.
Yeah, that's true.
So he was definitely on the line. So wow. Of those 15 camps, did you end up going to all of them, or did you get through so many and then because when I'm imagining this is before your senior year.
Yes, so this is the summer of my junior year going into my senior year.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the timeline for football really hasn't changed much. You ball out your junior year. That's where you get noticed on tape, whatever. Then you go in camp, spring days, junior days in the spring, camps in the summer. And then basically, that's how guys find a home. It's the same way that I did it. I also had the similar camping circuit. I went and camped at North Texas, Northern Illinois, Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, Iowa State. There was a couple more in there. And when you line up a camp schedule like that, it's like your entire summer.
Yeah, it sucks.
You're basically just driving. There's some that are like back-to-back days. You're like, okay, I got to be in Iowa City on Friday, Nebraska on Saturday, and then potentially like back at Iowa State on I did like a 3 camps. And is that basically what it was like that summer?
Yeah, it was grueling. It was literally just all of my summer, my June and July just were hitting like 15, because some of those camps they can be like 2 days, or 3 days. And those are long freaking days, man. I mean, like North Dakota State. I remember that camp. That was a 3-day camp. And you're just like, dude, and it's hitting every day. You got board drills every day, and then you got pass. You're just like, God, dude, I could be playing like PS4 right now. What are we doing? But no. But yeah, I was trying to get recruited.
That was peak Fortnite years. You could have been grinding Fort.
I know. What was I doing?
I don't know. Trying to get a scholarship, I guess.
I know. Ended up going to Iowa anyway. But yeah, those camps are brutal though. Those are like every day, long hours. Just eats up your summer, of high school. But it was fine though. It was, worth it. It made me a better player for the season. So
yeah, sure. At the end of that run, you get into August. You're like, okay, time for senior year football. What was where did you come out of that summer? Like, how did you feel? Did you feel like you had a chance at a couple schools? You said you had a good day at Iowa. Did you have good days elsewhere? Were you leaning one way or another on this whole journey, like up through middle school? You're like, I want to play football in college. Maybe there's a little, your dad, just like my dad played at Iowa, backup center for a couple years. So there was always there wasn't a pressure, but there was always if you want to play football in college, you better go fucking get some reps in, all this different stuff. So there's a little nudging from dad. Was the goal I want to be a Big Ten football player, or I'll go play wherever? What was your thoughts?
Yeah, since I was a young kid, I mean, it's been instilled in me to want to go to that next level and be D1 football player. And I always knew I wasn't going to grow up to be a 6'5" gigantic behemoth. I knew that wasn't going to happen. So I was like, all right, well, I got to work hard and I got to work my ass off to have a chance if I want to even make it to the level, even to earn a scholarship. I mean, that's the goal, right? It's hard. But yeah, I mean, I was glad I went through all those camps because it taught me, okay, it made me a better football player, number one. Number two, it made me mentally tougher. As that cliche as that sounds, it's true. And I was confident going into my senior year. But I only had, in terms of schools and recruiting, I only had, it was Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah.
They gave me a full scholarship. That was D2 football. But I was like, dude, I don't want to go live in South Dakota. It just looks brutal to me. I was like, I don't want to do that. It was far.
So you had that offer going into your senior year?
Going into my senior year, yes, I had that to play D-line. And they were sending me, all their merch and all their stuff. And they're like, dude, come on. And I was like, no, I don't want
to. What are they? South Dakota
Cougars.
Cougars. Okay.
I think it's the Cougars. Yeah, it's like their colors are like purple and white. I think they're. Yeah.
South Dakota.
No. The Sioux Falls, South. So like.
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like D2. It's not the Coyotes or Coyotes or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah,
could have been a purple cougar.
I know. But I
So-
was like, yeah.
You
Go
feel
ahead.
good. You feel good at Iowa. Did you go? You said you went to Minnesota. Like, what were the other D1 opportunities? What was really going to compete with Iowa as a possibility coming out of that summer?
So really, I had nothing, man. I had like just that one D2 school, and then I had like no other D1 interest, really. Like nothing. I mean, I actually had a really good camp at South Dakota State.
Okay.
South Dakota State Jackrabbits. I had a really good camp. I really performed well there. I did good on the board drills, did good on pass rush, and the D-line coach did something that pissed me off where he was hyping me up the whole camp. He's like, dude, you're crushing it. And all their like D linemen were like, dude, what's your name? What's your contact info? Like, what's happening? We recruiting all that. And then at the end of the camp, I went to go talk to the D-line coach, and he's like, yeah, we'll get back to you. And I was like, thanks. I appreciate that, which means go fuck yourself. We're not going to recruit you or talk to you at all. So like, I got that. And I was like, at Iowa, they were so honest and upfront. They were like, listen, man, you're short. Like Coach Morgan was straight up honest. He's like, you're short. We can't recruit you because you're height, you're light, what can we do? So
By the way, you're not the first to hear from Coach Morgan that you're too short. He told me that I was a third-year starter, and he still used to walk down the hall and say, man, I wish you had a couple extra inches.
Really?
You're like, Coach, I've been playing here for 2 years. What more? I'm already. You don't have to say that, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I wish we could stretch you out a little bit more in the corner over there on the inversion table. Like, all right, well, I'm 21 years old and I'm on scholarship here, so I don't know what else more you want, Coach. And he was always just fucking with me, but yeah, they are always really upfront. That's actually you echo the exact same thing from we had Max White on, and he was like, he said the same thing, like BF just told him straight up, like, hey, here's the deal. You can come play special teams. Like you might have a shot. It's gonna be tough. And he just the honesty and just sincerity just resonated with him, and that's why he ended up in Iowa City too.
Yeah, that's why I think they're one of the best programs, because they're so upfront and honest. I mean, I cannot stand that shit when coaches are just blowing smoke up your ass. It's just I don't like being lied to. It just drives me crazy.
Could you imagine now with the NIL stuff for guys that are really, really good?
Oh
and they're actually like they have to go back and forth between, do I take 1.2 million here versus 800,000 here, and how much smoke they're getting blown up their ass?
Yeah, dude, did you see that the kid from, was it Tennessee, that quarterback?
Yeah.
Dude, that kid literally got offered, I think he like held out. He was wanting like 2 million, something like that. 1.8 or 2 million. And then Tennessee's like, dude, fucking kick rocks, dude. You could get out of here.
Them and UCLA now traded quarterbacks. It's like the greatest thing. Yeah, because UCLA this offseason, just in December, got a transfer from App State, I believe. Is that right, Grant?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yep.
And so he went through 3 months at UCLA and now is going to Tennessee. And Tennessee's quarterback is going to UCLA. It's unbelievable. It's hilarious.
So crazy. It's so wild.
So, okay. So, when did this happen where your dad commits to Iowa for you? Is this like winter after your senior year?
This is heading into the spring. This is like towards the end of like that last signing day.
Okay.
So
you're getting down to it a little bit.
Yeah, the clock's winding down. I had nothing. And, Brian was in town that weekend. He was just going to all the different types of recruit schools. And basically, I think he just went in, when he went into that meeting, basically said, all right, we have a spot for Louie if he wants to walk on. And he, Brian probably just sold my dad and my coach on it. It's a great school. I mean, Iowa's a great school. It's a great campus. It's great tradition. It's 3 hours from Chicago, which was nice. It's not far.
Yeah.
I could travel back and forth if I want to. A lot of great people. I had a lot of friends from high school going to Iowa. So I was like, screw it, man. Yeah. And he, in his mind, he was like, you're going here,
Yeah.
And he knew that too. Cause I was like, I told him before, I was like, I don't want to go to South Dakota to go live there for the next 4 or 5 years. I was like, I would rather go to Iowa if I had that opportunity. So yeah. So
you walk into Iowa in the fall of 2019.
Yes.
What are Louie Stec's expectations for the next 4 years at that point?
Well, I mean, the goal is obviously is to win a scholarship, right? So, I was a D tackle. That first week when we got there, we basically had to go through, I was with Doyle. I was with Doyle when he was there still.
Yeah. You had about 10 months of him.
Yeah. And then before they, kicked him out, which was wild.
You're telling me, buddy.
Oh my God. That was a crazy ass time. But, yeah, so basically go through there's prepping for Miami. It might have been the last week of fall camp, and we were going through conditioning and training with Doyle. And Doyle said something cool on the first day when we got in. It was pretty sweet. He was like, "Nobody gives a shit where you come from. Nobody gives a shit who you are. We're just here to win, and we're gonna be bad motherfuckers." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And yeah, it was nerve-wracking though too that first week because I didn't understand. Nobody taught me that you have to wear the socks they give you or the under. It goes down into detail, man. They are with the shirt you wear. You have to wear everything Iowa issued. If you don't, you're gonna get bitched at. But yeah, I was learning all of that, and I was just getting into it. But then obviously my freshman year, I'm just thrown on scout team, and I'm going against it's so wild to think about it because I was going against Linderbaum. Starting at center, I'm going against Tristan. I'm pass rushing Tristan Wirfs. I'm like, holy shit, dude. I'm like, this is fucking wild. I was like, dude, it was crazy. He was gigantic, dude. He had bare mitts.
He's so big. He's so big.
So big. And that's when he had that famous. This is when he was going viral on social media where he was jumping out of the pool. And then he also was hang cleaning 500 pounds. You're like, holy shit, dude. But yeah, he was insanely talented. And then you got Kyler Schott, who's very talented, very good player. Lawrence Jackson, who was a tackle. So, dude, a really good offensive line I was going against. But I was just stuck on the scout team. And then COVID happened at the end of my freshman year, which sucked, set everything back. And yeah, man, it was that sucked. That was brutal. I mean, we were home for 2 months, I think, 3 months.
Yeah, it was. That's so funny that you walk into Linderbaum and Wirf, Daddy. That's tough. That's a tough.
Crazy.
One. Yeah. The semantic, the little nuanced details of you describe it. You got to wear the socks and you got to be there at the You need to be there 10 minutes early, but everybody kind of shows up 15 minutes early. And if you're not part of the group that shows up 15 minutes early and you're 10 minutes early, you're still looked down upon because you weren't part of the group that was there. All these little unwritten rule things bring back immediate anxiety to me. It's oh my, and when you're learning all that stuff in the beginning, it's like a waterfall into you're trying to suck a waterfall through a straw.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's impossible. So I totally relate with that. COVID happens. My brother comes in. This is the only reason I bring him up is because it coincides exactly with that COVID year. So he comes in in the spring of 2020, basically rolls through the 8 weeks of winter, and then COVID shuts everything down. And everyone who has, who we've interviewed over the past few years has basically been yeah, it was just ass.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So yeah, you basically have one fall, COVID hits, and now what are you thinking? What is that like?
Yeah, so it's so we don't get a spring ball. We were all stressing out for spring ball. We're like, oh fuck, because it's nice in the winter workouts. You're going through it. You're like, all right, we're lifting, we're competing. It's the stakes aren't. I mean, obviously everything is important, but it's not you're not hitting, you're not practicing, you're not doing any of that. So in the springtime, when that got canceled, we were like, holy shit, dude. Obviously it was just wild, and everybody has their own opinions on it. Everyone has their own beliefs on COVID. But we get
You're an anti-vaxxer, aren't you?
I am. I'm 100% anti-vaxxer. Let your viewers know that for sure.
The Washoe Buck-Ons brought to you by Pfizer. jab it in your butt if you have to, and get your boosters.
Yeah. So, but yeah, anyway, so COVID happens. We're all sitting home. You know, obviously it was weird because we were doing like team meetings on Zoom.
Yeah.
We were doing position meetings on Zoom, and I was stressing out because like I was with my grandfather. I was at his house, and he didn't believe in Wi-Fi. You know, he's old school like that. So he's like, so I'm struggling just using my cellular phone to basically connect it to my laptop, and I was like,
hotspot in team meetings.
yeah,
Wow.
it was tough. Yeah, so obviously I'm stressed because like I like basically like lost connection like twice in like a position meeting, and I had to like explain it to KB and be like, listen, man, I'm so sorry. I have no Wi-Fi here. It's tough, but you know, whatever. So. But yeah, so that happens. It was so strange. It was so weird. And then, yeah, we get back, and then it's like that condensed short season. You know, it's only like 8 games.
Yeah.
And going through, I'm obviously put on scout team again, but I actually tore my hamstring that season too, the day before. So it's actually funny. So they canceled the season. It was a huge thing. We were already back at this point. We were training, but we didn't know if we were gonna have a season yet. And then the Big Ten announces, all right, the season's canceled. We're not playing football this year. So everybody's freaking out about that. Everybody's pissed off. And then literally like 2 to 3 weeks later, they announce that the season's back on. And before they made that announcement, I was running sprints during lifts or conditioning or whatever. And then I tear my hamstring. I like pulled my hamstring really bad, just ripped in half, stuffed. And it was brutal. And I had to sit out for like all of fall camp. So I missed out on all of fall camp during that like COVID season, which was tough. But yeah. So
you're 2 years in. You already know that you're, as a walk-on short guy, you're behind the 8 ball, like trying to like get to this ultimate goal of scholarship and playing time. Then you get hit with the COVID year and a torn hamstring. Like, and I wish you knew, there's a couple guys in my class that almost like they have almost a identical story to you. One of them's name is Jake Hewlett. I still don't think we've had him on the show.
We've had him.
Did we have Jake on?
We did.
God, I can't remember at this point. That's bad. Similar guy, like D lineman, Iowa guy, probably a little short. He dealt with multiple injuries in his career, just like could never find this, you know, the momentum. So you go through that 2020 year, the calendar changes to 2021. Like, where are you at now? Mental state wise.
Yeah.
You spent 18 months in the program and you're like, okay, where am I?
Right. Yeah. So that second year, so after COVID, Dallas Jacobus was playing the mic. I was all backing up at the mic. And then we get into the spring ball, and I'm number 1 on the depth chart for the mic position. So I'm like, okay, that's good. That's a sliver of hope. You know, I was like, okay, I could finally start getting on the field, start making some reps or getting reps, and then start making my way. So that third season, my junior
punt
year,
team. Yeah.
I'm punt. Yeah. The mic and the shield protecting the punter for people that don't know. And yeah, I was getting reps on that, and I was just trying to prove myself, obviously through special teams like most guys do. So I was the mic and the shield, and then I started getting some punt rush, or I was on punt return. I was getting some reps there, rushing the punter. I was playing kickoff return more. I was getting reps there. So I was basically getting a lot of reps on special teams that third year. And it was cool, man. I got to play in some cool games. Like when we beat Penn State at home, where we became second in the nation for a week, and then we lost.
That was really cool, dude. That was so.
It was sweet. We were like, dude, we're ahead of Alabama. Let's go. It was so sick.
I was at that game, as a lot of people were, and very sick. So sick to play in that game. Yeah,
it was so sick. It was so cool. That's when I'm like, okay, this was like things are starting to happen. Like things are starting to like, and it's actually funny. So my head coach, he told me before I ever went to Iowa, he's like, listen, because my head coach in my high school was a walk-on as well. He walked on at Southern Illinois. He was a defensive back. he went through the whole he went through the thing, he went through the whole spiel. So he told me, he's like, listen, man, you're going to have to eat shit for like 2 years before you see anything at all. He's like, 2 years of just eating shit. And then you'll get somewhere. You'll make it. Cause he's like, I know you work hard and you do what's right, which he was right. I started playing more on special teams and I just started getting those reps, and then I just started playing. And then they call it garbage time. But as a D tackle, I started playing more as like we were up by like 30-0 or 40-0 and just getting those reps. And yeah, man, it was cool. I was like, all right, we're getting somewhere. So that junior year, I just played a lot more and got to travel with the team, which was cool, which was a change up from being at home. Cause that's the worst, dude. When you're at home and the whole team's traveling and it just sucks. You're just like, God damn it, dude. This sucks.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that's 2021, and then 2022, you're basically in the same spot, still the mic on punt, still rotating in for some D-line reps. Did you get more action though in 2022? It seems like you did.
Yeah. So that last year, like my senior year, my fourth year, we're playing against South Dakota State. They put me in as I was second on the depth chart, so they put me in as in the 2 deep. So I was getting some good reps. I was getting substantial reps. And then we played, who was it? We played Iowa State. I was getting reps there, backing up, rotating in, getting some reps, playing a little bit more. And then we get to Rutgers, and then basically, I don't know, I wasn't in the 2 deep anymore. So they put Aaron Graves back there. They didn't say anything to me, but they put Aaron Graves. And Aaron Graves is a hell of a football player. But I wasn't. We got the Big Ten play, and those guys at Rutgers, they were like averaging 350, and I think they were like, "Yeah, this guy, we don't know about this." So
there was a quiet shuffling of,
yeah,
and Aaron suddenly started taking Louie's reps.
Yeah, and that's okay, I guess. But I mean, Aaron's a hell of a football player.
He is.
He's a hell of a football player. Hell of a dude too. He's one of the best dudes ever. When I got to know him in my last year when he came in, I mean, he's just such a good dude. And he's crushing it. He's crushing it right now. So, if there's anybody to do it, I'm glad it's him because he's a hell of a football player. So essentially, I lost those reps, and then once that happened, where they kind of like put Aaron in, and I wasn't getting as many reps anymore, I was like, all right, I think it's time to close up shop. I was like, all right, I've taken enough hits to the head. I was like, yeah, it's time to close up shop. So yeah.
I was gonna say, if you search Louie Stec and you pull up the Iowa profile, the bio stops after 2022. Everybody knows that you get that COVID year. You also redshirted in 2019, so theoretically you had 2 years left of eligibility.
I did. Yeah.
Totally makes sense. This young stud. I mean, I don't know if people understand this, but like, Aaron committed so early to Iowa that he could have maybe been a 5-star like at a high school, but those recruiting services, they kind of stop like really putting a lot of effort into like upgrading your ranking or your score after you commit somewhere that early. At least that's what I've heard about Aaron. Obviously still a stud, and he's going to have one more big year for the Hawks upcoming. So you're like, I don't know if I just want to be the guy who gets semi trucks run through my face on punt team for another 2 years. No consideration, especially nowadays with a transfer.
Yeah, dude. I was like, well, I was having a lot of concussions too.
Oh, okay.
And I wasn't telling that to the trainers. I only had like one diagnosed concussion, but I probably had like 50, dude. Like when you're playing, oh my God, I had so many. Like we were playing Illinois at Illinois, and I was on kickoff return, and I went to, this was bad, but I went to go hit this guy who was running down from Illinois, and I hit him so fucking hard that I hit him and I knocked him out. But also knocking him out, I knocked myself out as well. So like when I hit him, I literally saw like the color green for like 30 seconds. And I was like, whoa, dude, it was bad. And also, and when I hit him, everybody on our sideline got fired up. They're like, well, let's fucking go. And they were, all fired up. And then Coach Woods he obviously gets so fired up.
Oh yeah.
And he was hitting me on my head though. He was like, and I was like, Jesus Christ. It was just, it was terrible. But yeah, like I had so many of those, and I was like, dude, I can't do this for 2 more years. It's just I'm taking so much brain damage. It's just not worth it at this point. So
it's a smart play, man. You did the Luke Kuechly. You just got out when it wasn't right. So that's crazy. You knocked yourself out too.
How long were you out?
Like I was out with like my concussion after I like went into.
Yeah, you said you knocked yourself out.
Yeah, so I was out, but I was like, it was weird. So like when I hit him, I like knocked myself out. And it was like one of those where you just like you stick your arms up a little bit, but I was still standing. I wasn't like blacked out on the field, but I was just like I was out of it, man. And like it was scary. I knew something was off when I just saw the color green. I was like, this isn't good. This is bad.
You're getting TV looking for a signal all of a sudden.
Seriously, just like yeah, dude,
hoping it doesn't go black and white, man.
This guy's antennas is out. What's happening?
Yeah,
crazy. Academic All Big Ten.
Yeah,
for the third year in a row in 22. Big Ten Distinguished Scholar.
Yeah,
Jesus,
I guess so.
Jesus, man, all these head hits, and you're still finding a way to get it done in the classroom. Coaches Appreciation Award on defense. Coaches Appreciation Award on special teams. Mm-hmm. So you were like you're truly the washed up walk-ons being the best platform for it. You were truly like you were the guy. You were the walk-on guy who you did it all, man. Like you, other than getting the scholarship and being one of like the starting 22, you got the whole experience.
I got my scholarship.
You did?
I did get my scholarship, yeah.
When were you put on Scully?
So heading into that final year.
Let's go.
Yeah, so KF, basically there were some guys coming back because they had a COVID year, so it was really weird with the scholarships.
Yeah.
He wanted to originally put me on for my junior year.
Yeah.
So my junior year, he wanted me to put me on. He told me after that COVID year, because I was performing well on like scout and all that shit. So he's like, we really want to put you on, but there's just guys coming back because they got a COVID year, so we can't put you on. So I was like, thanks, that's awesome. But no, so he basically told me, he was like, for your senior year, we'll get you on. And he just put me on, and it was strange. So basically how it went down was, he's like, all right, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to put you on for the springtime of your junior year, which was my fourth year. Mm-hmm. And he's like, we'll put you on for that, and then we'll have you on scholarship for that fifth year. Well, once I stopped getting reps, I was like, dude, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to continue to play. Like, I'm getting head injuries. Like, it's really bad. Like, I can't continue playing football. So I went into his office actually, and I was like, listen, Coach Ferentz, I appreciate, the offer. I appreciate the scholarship, but I was like, I'm not going to be here for spring ball, this year. Like, I'm not going to finish out because the season was over for that fourth year, and then spring ball, obviously. So he's like, okay, I completely understand. He's like, I get it. You got to do what's right for you. But he's like, we're still going to honor that. We're going to keep you on for that springtime. And I was like, that's very cool. I was like, thank you so much. I was like, thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate that. And so this was right before we were going into what was it called? Bowl prep. So we're going into bowl prep. So so he tells me that. And then I get a phone call 2 weeks later from him. And he's like, hey, Louie, I'm getting on a flight right now. I'm about to go do some recruiting, but I just want to let you know you're on a full scholarship for your whole year. He's like, we covered it. It's taken care of. We're going to cover your fall and your spring for this year. So you're on scholarship. You earned it. Congratulations. And I was like, well, okay, that's fucking awesome. I was like, that's sick. And immediately just so fired up, so awesome. And then I call my dad, and my dad's like freaking out. He's fired up about it, that I earned a full scholarship for my full, my last year at Iowa.
Yeah.
And then, it was so cool. So fired. It just shows how good of a dude he is, man. Like, he didn't have to do that. And when I went in to go meet with like the lady who handles the scholarship, she was like, hey man, I just want to let you know, like, he doesn't ever do this. Like, this is a very rare thing, so be happy that this happened. And I was like, yes, I'm very grateful. I'm very happy that this happened. So yeah,
I'm stoked for you that you got to experience the Scully check hit to the account. Those are nice. Those are big when those start coming in. Yeah,
dude, it definitely takes out a huge chunk of that student loan debt. That's for sure.
Oh man. Was there any part of that conversation that was tough when you went in and you're like, dude, I can't, I'm not going to be here?
I felt bad. Yeah. I was like, because I mean, even Coach Woods even told me, I went back like a year ago, I had a cousin who was at a camp at Iowa, and I saw Coach Woods, and he's like, listen, man, I wish I could have had you for another 2 years.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. It's a good feeling that you're wanted. But I just felt bad. I felt like I was kind of letting him down because he just did a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
They're putting me on, and I'm like, I'm done. But I was just like, dude, I cannot. It's also a lot, man. I mean, those 2 years is a long time at Iowa. I mean, you go through, dude, it's like you go through fall camp, you got winter, and then you got spring ball, and then it's just a constant cycle that doesn't stop.
Especially as like the stuff you were doing was great, right? Like I'm sure if you could have just signed up for punt team and some kickoff or kick return and some punt return, you're like, okay. The problem is if you sign up for that, that means Louie's on the scout team getting his face buried by Mason Richmond and Connor Colby, or you're burying them.
Yeah.
Regardless, you're just no one wins those,
Yeah.
And
it's
a lot. That's a lot on your body to take. It's tough. Clearly, there's not many guys who make the healthy decision and get out at the right time. And now you're in the podcast game, which is
let's go.
That's all you need, bro. I'm going to get there in a second, but I'm going to do my podcasting duties here. We're going to shout out a couple of our sponsors. You can see them on the bottom of the screen there. Oh, I can't even point to them because I'm on this side. Grant, point to them. Hey, Eagle Point Solar. How about a little read for them? Huh? Energy independence is a great theme as we get into the summer here. 4th of July, less than 3 months away. Almost 2 months away. Additionally, with everything getting more expensive due to tariffs, inflation, etc., it's a great reminder to folks to control what you can control. We can control your energy costs at Eagle Point Solar by switching over to solar energy. No tariff on sunshine. How about that, Louie? How about that tagline?
It's pretty good.
Sun doesn't send you a monthly invoice. So if you can generate electricity from the sun, now is a great time to act. They still have tax credits, energy grants, and plenty of equipment in the U.S. onshore to take full advantage of going solar and gaining your energy independence once and for all. No one can predict the next 8 to 10 months, but what will be in place, but they can get you solar today, and you can take advantage of that. Shout out to Eagle Point Solar. Our other sponsor is the Iowa Egg Council. I'm sure that Louie had plenty of eggs during his time at the University of Iowa. Might still eat eggs today. I don't know what your diet looks like today, Louie, if you're an egg guy.
I did have like 5 eggs today, so yeah.
It just is what it is. There's a theme here. I have 5 every day. Cook them in Kerrygold butter. Delicious. I just take a nice slab of butter, and then I like to pour the scramble right on the little bit of butter that hasn't melted yet, and then it just spreads out from the middle, and just every bite is just buttery. A little salt
here.
Yeah, a little pink sea salt on there after they're done. Grant's got to up his egg intake. We're trying to get Grant bulky.
I eat eggs every day.
We got to up it, though. More eggs. Iowa Egg Council.
Hey, dude, this economy?
Bro, eggs are back down.
I do this for free.
Eggs are back.
You buying pallets of eggs?
Yeah, actually, I bought 5 dozen eggs from Costco on Sunday. We do numbies. We do egg numbies around here. Podcasting. The back side of this podcast is going to be about Louie Stec's Simple Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it, man. So again, this is how I found you. This is like all of a sudden I see Louie's face in some very well edited cut. Like, not that we do a lot of like unbelievable content editing, like output around here. I mean well. I would love to have like 10 clips of every podcast put out. I got a lot going on. But I see clips of your podcast, and then I start to see clips of like, oh shit, like he's interviewing Deontay. He got to Deontay before we did, Grant.
Yeah.
And then he's got like he just recently had on Luke Lachey. He's got all these guys. I mean, you know all these guys. You played with them several years ago. You've been out for a couple of years, but you know these guys. Podcast is good. maybe one of the most impressive things is you're on like episode 50 coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe I think we record this on a Tuesday night. Yours comes out every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. Yep. Every Wednesday at 7 a.m.
And tomorrow will be number what?
Number 49.
There you go.
Number 49 comes out.
So that is, I mean, on over the course of 600 shows almost on here, we've had multiple people be like, yeah, like the average podcast only lasts 7 episodes, right?
I think it's even less. I don't even believe that.
Probably even less. And so the fact that you've consistently pumped out almost one a week for a year, it's impressive, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, man. Well, everybody always wants to start one. Everybody has one in their mind. They have a good idea of what they want to do. And I was just like, screw it, man. I was like, I know a lot of great dudes that have great stories that don't get to, share them. And, I think it would be really, really fun. And that's obviously everybody. I think why a lot of people, they start them, but then they get asked, why are they doing them? Like, they're like, everybody has a podcast, right? Like everybody and their grandmother has a fucking podcast. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I get asked that all the time. And I'm like, well, it's just fun. It's fun to just sit down and just shoot the shit like we're doing right now. We're just shooting the shit. We're having fun. We're laughing. It's like anything else you do in life. But yeah, I was just enjoying it. And then I was like, okay, well, I was like, this is really cool. I'm enjoying this. I want to get better at this. So I was like, yeah, let's go, let's get better and let's go all in. So I was like, all right, well, I'll start getting some cameras, start getting some lighting, get some good microphones. I just slowly built up to that. Because most people, they make the mistake when they start a podcast, they're like, all right, I'm going to blow $6,000 and then I'm going to get all the microphones, the cameras, the editing, all this shit. I'm going to hire, like, they do all this and then they do 6 episodes and then it's over. And then you're like, I just blew $6,000 on equipment that I'm never going to touch again. So like, that's what a lot of people do. And I didn't want to be that guy. I was like, all right, I'll start off with no video. I'll just do audio, just shoot the shit and talk. But yeah, man, I was just like, I get to talk to people I'm interested in, but you're right though. It's like that consistency. It's like, all right, I got to like hold myself accountable to like, I got to get one a week out. If I don't, I feel weird. So yeah.
Did you have any grand idea or plan for it when you started it? Like, hey, I want this to become a thing. Like, I want this to become my thing. I want to do this full time. Or it really truly is like, I'm going to invest in it. I'm going to try and get better, but it's simply for my own personal enjoyment. And I don't care if it becomes a money thing or anything like that, because I've done a little digging. I watched a couple episodes today. I skimmed through your current up-to-date setup. I'm not going to drop the numbers on here, but I know all of the numbers of what your setup probably costs and how much you've dumped into it. And it's not a small amount.
Sure.
So like, what's the goal? You said you feel the pressure, like, and I know all about that pressure. We do 2 a week around here. Last season, we switched to doing 4 a week.
Damn, dude.
5 a week if you counted our Patreon only podcast. So I'm basically spitting out 1 a day, and that you start to put it out and people start to listen. And you're like, fuck, now they're going to expect it.
Yeah.
And so what has that been like? What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, it's, I guess it's like when you're on the internet now and you doing an episode a week, and it's like, I don't like being the guy that says, oh, I'm going to do all this. I'm going to get all this. Wait till I do that. Like, and then I just never do it because I just feel like phony and fake. I got it. If I say I'm going to do it, I got to do it. And, yeah, man, it's just, and I also just look at it. It's just for me, it's personal enjoyment. And it's just a great way to connect with former players, but also it's like with my show, man, it doesn't just have to be football. It could be whoever I want. Like, It could be, I could get a high school coach if I want. I could go get, I don't know, a business owner down the street if I want. Anybody who I find interesting, I could have on my show and I could talk to them. Like, that's the fun thing about it. And that's what makes me want to continue to grow. And my football, we're very well connected in the football world. And we know so many guys, being in Chicago, there's a lot of people here, so there's a lot of interesting people to go around. So yeah.
I think what I find there's several things I find impressive about it from the podcaster side of things. One is like, again, what you've put into it as far as equipment and quality wise. But the fact that you're doing like now the majority of your episodes, or if not like every episode since for a while now, is in person. Like you're getting these guests to come to you or you're going to them. That's something that, we're almost 600 episodes deep. We have a couple.
It's like 4, maybe.
Maybe a couple handfuls. And definitely not more than 10 that have been recorded in person with, like, we just hop on. I mean, it's basically Zoom. It's Restream, but it's Zoom. And we're almost a completely remote podcast. So for someone like you to early on be so invested in having guests, which is it's a better conversation. I know you have a couple where you've had guests like online or through a Zoom, but it's impressive that you've been able to get that many people. I know we were in our conversation leading up to setting this up. You're like, yeah, I'm going to Iowa City trying to record a couple episodes. Like, this guy's putting in the work. Everybody needs to go and check this thing out.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it's man, it's just so cool. It's just like it's so easy to, man. You really think about it, like an hour to 2 hour conversation, I feel is like not crazy. And it's good. I agree that I like conversations in person because it's a lot more fun that way. And the conversation's different in a way. Like, I'm still having fun right now. Don't get me like this is
no, I fully understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just different. But it's more of like I don't know, like I could travel also and go to different places if I want to in the future. Certain guys can't come out to Chicago or Iowa, but I'm more than willing to travel out to them and go shoot the shit with them. That's no problem for me. So
you're a couple of years out now. Do you have a enterprise leadership degree?
Yeah, that's my business degree.
Whatever the hell that means.
It's just called passing.
Yeah, that's the proud bunch over there, right? That's
is that you too, Grant? Is that what it is?
No, I was not, but I did the entrepreneurship program, which overlaps a lot with it. I don't know. It's a good group. We got some good classes in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
we love them. We love them over there. What do you do now as a job that allows you to be able to have that time to put into the podcasting?
Yeah. So it's actually cool. So I actually had gotten noticed through my podcast for like a media job. So
check one for you. I'm 0 for on that after 600 episodes, so I must suck dick.
No, yeah, but no, I got noticed from this guy who owns this company who does social media. He does like newspapers and stuff like that, and he loved the fact that I'm like interviewing athletes, former athletes, and he's like, hey man, I got a job for you. I'm trying to like expand my sports division with like my papers and all my stuff and like my business. So he's like, do you have any interest in like interviewing high school coaches, athletes around Chicagoland area, doing all that stuff and like helping grow this thing? And I'm like, yeah, dude, let's go. Sure. And basically I'm just helping grow that business right now. And basically what I've been doing is just interviews with coaches and getting like media pushed out to all these publications. So
that's awesome. I mean, it literally allows you to do basically what you're doing. That's incredible. Well, Grant, I'm not gonna
what?
Keep you. I muzzle you. I was looking for the word muzzle. I'm not gonna muzzle you this whole time. You got any questions for that?
Yeah, Louie. So I was listening to also some of the Louie Stec podcast. You said you're doing stand up right now, or on the side a little bit sometimes. What's going on there? How's the experience like?
It's fun, man. It's fun out in Chicago. It's like just meeting good people, man, just hanging around the city. And like, I've had buddies in high school that were doing it and they asked me if I ever wanted to try. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. And I
give off Shane Gillis vibes, by the way.
I've been told that so many times. You have no clue. I hear we look exactly alike and sound alike. So, I get it all the time.
How long you been doing this? How long you been?
2 years now.
2 years. Oh shoot, dude, that's pretty good, man. That's another thing where you said like, the average podcast is like one or two episodes. The average stand-up career has to be like one set max.
Oh, 100%.
Like one set, got super scared, left. So
yeah, it does one set bombs and it's just like, oh fuck this, I'm never doing this again. It's like a mob hit. Like you never tell anybody ever again.
it's like, it's very shameful. I tried stand up once.
Yeah, that's what most guys. But yeah, man, it's like I looked at it like most people when they get done playing college football or doing I don't know anything. They're like they pick up a hobby or something whether that's like rugby or they get onto a softball team and all that shit. And I was so tired of like doing physical shit. I was like, dude, I got to do something different. And I've always loved stand up, and I was like, it's super fun and it's really cool. And I've met a lot of great dudes doing it. And so I do there's a club in Batavia called Comedy Vault Batavia, and I go out there with some friends and we hang out, and it's really fun, man. Comedy clubs are cool. They're cool as shit. People are cool. So.
Yeah. Oh, good. So you got like a crew that you opened the club with. You're like Joe Rogan. Hey, look. Oh, here's Louie's guys rolling in.
Top tier.
Louie's squad is here.
How many days a week do you do this, or is it like how frequently, even if it's not weekly?
Weekly, 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Try to get up 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah.
Jesus. You got some like. So are you even? Is it just?
So you've got like a
routine.
You've got a legit, like, probably, what, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, about 15. Yeah.
That's sick.
Dude, it's just fun, man.
15's forever up there. I mean.
Yeah, dude, fucking 3 minutes can be up there when you first starting.
15 is forever.
You're eating shit. Oh, God. It's awful. But when you're doing it, it's fun. And you're hanging out with good buddies and you're doing well. Yeah, it's going well. But it's, no, man, it's just fun to do. It's just awesome. I enjoy it, and I don't know. I don't mean to be like I don't mean like I'm a creative or anything like that. I like having fun and just.
Dude, you're so artsy, bro.
I'm such an artist, dude.
It's a young Van Gogh sitting across from us right
now. But yeah, no, it's fun. That's like the core foundation of it. I just like doing like. Obviously, I have my job right now. I'm doing what I'm doing. Obviously, brings in the income. That's what you need, obviously. But then I try to just find things that I like to do. And doing my podcast, I enjoy. Doing stand-up is fun. I get called Shane Gillis, Joe Rogan all the time. It's so annoying, but it happens all the time. But it's just fun, man. I just like doing these things, and I'm just going to continue to do things that I enjoy. Yeah, and that's about that. So.
No, yeah. Nice. No, I think it's good. Like, I think a lot of people too, like you mentioned earlier, they want to try things, but they're kind of scared. Sometimes like, oh, they're going to make fun of me because I have a podcast.
People are pussies. Like, they never, most people are pussies and they never do what I'd like to do this someday. I'd like to try that. All right, cool. See you in 30 years.
Yeah. No,
they just become the average guy who just wishes he would have done this 20 years ago. It's like, it is what it is.
So then, like, outside of like Shane, obviously, it seems like you're a fan of his. What is like? Who are some guys you like in the comedy world?
I like, obviously Shane's awesome. I'm a big fan of Louis C.K. Okay. I like Louie. I'm a big fan of Daniel Tosh. I think Daniel Tosh is underrated, dude.
Yeah,
Daniel Tosh is hilarious.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see him in June at the Chicago Theater. Wow. Yeah, he's top tier. And then who else? I love Chappelle. Chappelle kicks ass. And then I like Bill Burr. Bill Burr's awesome too. So those guys are pretty good. I like them.
Yeah. No, I respect you saying Tosh because Tosh Point is hilarious, obviously, but his stand-up's really good.
It is.
His stand-up's pretty impressive.
I'm a Jeselnik guy. I like Jeselnik.
Jeselnik's good too.
I like his style really fits me. That's like if I was gonna get up and do it, I would do it that way. Yeah. Slow, dark humor.
I was gonna say his is like demented. It's like
dude, Jeselnik murders. Cool. That's a good find, Grant. I wouldn't have found that that Louie's a real comedian.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't say real, but I'm all right. I'm fine.
Dude, if you're going on a weekly base or multiple times a week for 2 years, like that's just.
I would say you're a novice comedian. Yeah, I would say you're a novice comedian.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you could say that. Yeah, it's fun. It's wild. You run into some wild people. I'll tell you that. I mean, at open mics, some of these people.
You have some examples or some instances you want to share?
Meth heads.
Yeah, dude. Like people who are just out of their mind, like just homeless people, like genuinely homeless people will walk into a bar and just like, I'm gonna kill tonight, I'm gonna crush.
I'm gonna give you
And
the
they-
best 5 minutes you've ever heard.
Yeah, dude, and they can't speak. They're just mumbling into the mic, and you're just like, oh my god. Yeah. So yeah, that happens quite often. Those in the city, it's wild. Like sometimes they could get. It's just weird down there. Yeah, you just got to be careful, especially when you're down there. I like staying in the burbs where I'm safe.
Yeah.
I don't like going down there at night. I try to be, I try to be safe. So, but yeah, man, there's just going to be some odd people you run into, just some psychos, but you just got to avoid them. Just got to block them out and just keep doing your thing. So yeah, I feel like that's with a lot of things too. You're going to run into some psychos at work,
Yeah.
So.
No, there's a ton of crazy people out there. Now, they're not just all at the comedy club in your neighborhood.
They're on the street in Chicago. They're everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, It's been fun.
Nice.
Anything else, Grant?
No, I mean that was what I was most curious about. We got a ton of the stuff covered. No, I
lot.
appreciate you being here, Louie.
Tried to get as much as we could. Always welcome back, man. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, boys. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Everybody, hope you enjoyed listening to Louie Stec. Go check out his podcast. He's got a ton of episodes. Like he just said, he's almost at 50. Doesn't sound like he's stopping anytime soon. We are coming up, Grant and I and Kevin, supposedly. Sorry, Kevin couldn't be here tonight, by the way. This guy, all he does is work a real job. Just total bullshit. We'll be recording episode 600 tomorrow night. We're excited for that one to come out in a couple weeks with a legend. Several more in between there, a couple more guests lined up. We're excited to bring all of that to you. We'll see you then. Until next time. Peace.